What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition of Dream Firm Spotlight. My name is Tyler S. Clark, co-founder of Dream Firms, where we create generational wealth and impact for entrepreneurial accountants by systemizing how they attract, win, and retain the business of your dream clients. But there is a huge problem in the entrepreneurial accounting space. You are all experts, but you know you're an expert, and very few other people know how much amazing knowledge you have, because there are these fears, these deep-seated fears that prevent you from sharing that message and dramatically elevating your expert status. So for today's topic, we're covering the 5 biggest fears that prevent entrepreneurial accountants from creating content that drives your expert status forward and ultimately helps you secure more high-value engagements from your dream clients. So jumping right into it, fear number 1, disclosures. Fear number 1 is, Tyler, what happens if I get sued because I shared a piece of advice or guidance and someone took it and then they said, but this person said that I could do this tax saving strategy. This person said that this was a write-off. Well, first of all, if this were true, there would be nobody talking on TikTok. There'd be nobody talking on Facebook at all, because you hear some of the advice that's being shared on the internet about tax savings. Most of it is criminal, but the good news is you guys have ethics, you have integrity. And if you're concerned about this, the logical antidote is this. 1, you can simply announce a disclosure and say, hey guys, I just want to let you know that what I'm preparing to share with you is meant to be educational in nature. You should always consult with an accounting professional for you and your unique situation. But let's go ahead and jump into today's content, because it'll at least give you a good starting point for that conversation. And I love to talk about something that very few people know about, and it is the 1031 exchange. It is the fill in the blank with whatever it is that you think would be a high value topic for your audience. But the bottom line is you can use a disclosure to simply prevent you from feeling like you are exposed to additional risk or liability by sharing your expertise. So that's fear number 1. Don't let it stand in your way. Fear number 2, this is probably the biggest one, to be totally honest. Fear number 2 is no one is going to listen to me, Tyler. If I start doing this, no one is going to be paying attention to me. Of course, that's the way it works. When you get started, no one is going to be paying attention to you. And here's why this is actually a good thing and why it shouldn't be a fear, but something you're excited about. Here's the option, right? And this is the logical antidote to the fear, is would you rather practice your presentation skills? Would you rather practice your content delivery in front of a room of your dream clients for the very first time? Or would you rather practice when there's really nobody around? I don't know about you, but I practiced for a long time when no one was paying attention to me, because tiny little group, nobody in it, barely any accountants even aware of who I was. And I get better, and I get better, and I get better, and I get better. It's a skill. It develops over time. And now, if you put me in front of a room of my dream clients, I think I do pretty well. And the same thing is true for you. So if you're worried that the fear is no one's going to listen to me, that's awesome. That gives you the ability to practice and get good at it to the point where people are willing to listen to you, and they're also going to want to engage with you. Okay. So again, no reason to be afraid of that at all. Okay. Number 3, logical. This is the fear that, again, comes up very, very often. There's so many ways to produce content, Tyler. I don't know where to start. Should I be a blogger? Should I do video content like you do? Should I start writing email newsletters? Should I have a podcast? Should I write a book? Should I, right? Like, so many options. Okay. Here's the thing. The logical antidote for this one is pretty straightforward. I have a guide in the Dream Firms Network. It is known as the Content Planning, Production, and Syndication Guide, okay? So if you don't know where to start, the best place to start is with someone who's already done what you're looking to do, someone who's gotten good at producing content, someone who does it in a very short, condensed time period, and ultimately has it shared in a wide variety of places. And so if you're saying, I don't really know where to start, I don't know what platform is the best, I don't know how to get involved with these platforms, that's okay. Because again, it's something new, but if you can simply mirror and follow the clues, this like success leaves clues, if you follow the steps of those who've come before you, you'll get started in no time, right? Like, so again, getting started is oftentimes as easy as I'm going to flip the camera on because it's the fastest way to get started. I find that the people who really struggle with content production, they try writing and they're writing and they're writing and they're self-critiquing, or they try and do video, but they do pre-filmed videos as opposed to live. And I mess up, right? I say the wrong thing sometimes. I stumble over my words. But the good news is I can't be my own worst enemy. I think you all have paralysis by analysis as a trait. You're your own worst critic, just like I am. And this happens very frequently on content, especially when it's written and pre-recorded. If you want to get started and you want to get the skill faster, I promise you going live is easily the best way to get started. But again, if you want more help than that, check out the Dream Firms Network Practice Ignited Challenge. There'll be links floating around as always. If you haven't checked it out yet, please do so. And you'll get access to our 3-part guide on content production planning and syndication, basically just as a part of that purchase. So pretty sweet. Okay, so fear number 4. Tyler, I'm an introvert. You may not know this about me, but I'm an introvert. Tyler, how could you be an introvert? You're so energetic and excited. Do you know why I'm so energetic and excited? Because I'm by myself right now. Yeah, there's some people hanging out with me online, but if I was in a room of a bunch of people I didn't know, I'd be in the corner like on my cell phone reading a book, right? Ignore me. I don't want to be here right now. So I find that when people say I'm an introvert and they use that as a bit of a crutch for not doing something that would greatly benefit their business, they're imagining it in the completely wrong way. You're by yourself. You're talking about your expertise. You don't need to be an extrovert to do that. Could you up your energy? Can you talk a little louder? Sure. Can you talk a little faster? Probably. Can you get excited about the topic you're talking about? Probably. Doesn't mean you're an extrovert. If anything, you're probably an introvert when you do those things. Introverts love to get really deep into a topic and love to talk about the nuance of it and dissect it. That's a strength. But all we got to do is boop, press that button and ultimately let us start to talk, because we're just talking to some friends. If anything, it feels like I'm kind of talking to myself, as weird as that sounds. So again, don't let I'm an introvert be a reason to not move forward with this. You want to accelerate your expert status, don't use that as a crutch. I beg of you. Okay. And the final and 5th biggest fear that comes along with this is it's so time consuming to produce content. I have no time right now, Tyler. I understand this. Okay. I understand this fear. And this fear is largely based in how we imagine this will happen and what it will take, as opposed to what it actually takes when it's done the right way. I think most of you see how much content I produce, but the difference between where I am right now and where you are is not how much time I've put in. It is how consistent I have been in putting in, you guessed it, 15 minutes a week. That's effectively how much time I invest in content production. But I've done it every week for 2 years now. And so I've gotten better. I've even reduced the total amount of time. And again, that's shared in the content planning and production guide and syndication guide inside Dream Firms Network. But my point is that when you are getting ready to develop a new skill, consistency beats intensity. A lot of people get really into, I'm going to start to blog. I'm going to type out some articles. I've got these great ideas for all these videos and I'm going to shoot them and then I'm going to critique them. And then, this is too time consuming. And then we throw it out the window because there's no way to perpetuate the result in a condensed time frame. And everything we do at Dream Firms is about making sure that you build a system that continues to perpetuate the result in as little time as required by the owner as possible, because you're busy. And adding one more thing onto your plate is usually not that great of an idea. We got to take things off your plate so you have the time to do high value activities. And one of the highest value activities you could ever do is accelerate your awareness of you being an expert into the minds of your prospective dream clients. Like, what could be more valuable than that? So you do have the time. You have the same amount of time as I do. And the question isn't what is it that you're doing that other people, and the question is, what is it that you are doing that you should not be doing? And if we can simply take that off your plate and replace it with something that is higher value, like 15 minutes a week of content production, well, all of a sudden that fear of I don't have time for this completely goes out the window. So just a very quick summary of the 5 fears for those of you who might join a little late. Number 1 is your disclosure. You want to ultimately not have that fear of exposing yourself to risk. Use a disclosure and simply just announce that at the start of your video. For educational purposes, please consult with an accounting advisor before taking advantage of anything that is discussed in this video. You're good to go. Number 2, no one will listen. Congratulations, that's fantastic. The reason no one will listen is because you need to develop the skill, and you don't ultimately want to talk to a room full of your dream clients when you haven't developed the skill of what you'd like to present and talk about. So this is actually a huge benefit. It's not a drawback. You want to use that to your advantage early on to get started. Number 3, I'm not sure where to start. Best place to start is something that is quick and easy and does not allow you to get stuck in paralysis by analysis. And that to me is live video. And if you want more information on how to do it as efficiently as possible, join the Practice Igniter Challenge, $67. We got a free content planning, production, and syndication guide. A to Z, everything you need to know to do this in a high quality way. Number 4, I'm an introvert. So am I. Don't use that as a crutch. Bottom line is I'm just talking in a room by myself to a camera. I'm not in a room full of a bunch of people I've never met before. So there's no reason to use that as an excuse. And number 5, no time. And the only reason you think that you would have no time, you'd have a fear, is you'd think that it would take so much time. In reality, you're talking about 15 minutes a week if you do it the right way. And ultimately that will allow you to accelerate your awareness of your expert status in the minds of your dream clients. And what could be more valuable than that? So I hope you have enjoyed today's Dream Firm Spotlight. My name is Tyler S. Clark. If you are looking to ultimately create your dream firm in record time, well, to be perfectly frank, that's what we do. If you want to explore the Create Your Dream Firm program, feel free to check out the links down below. And always, what is it? I always seem to forget. Remember that only you can create your dream firm, but we're here to help you every single step of the way. Have a fantastic rest of your work week, and don't let those fears rule the day. Fear is the mind killer. Shout out to all my Dune fans. See ya.